Finally today, a Blaine teenager received recognition on a state level and from corporations like 3M for her science fair project. She told me it wasn't about awards for her, it was all about applying science to try to solve a very real problem involving the pandemic. Like so many 14-year-olds, Elizabeth Levenstein spent much of the last year doing distance learning and not being able to access everything she would need to pursue one of her passions, science.
For me, it's about trying to use science to solve world problems. Our world depends on science, especially as we continue to create new technologies. And so my big goal, I guess, is to kind of use science to solve the problem of global warming and climate change.
And welcome to my work called Testing.
But for a state science fair in March, she decided to tackle another problem plaguing the world, COVID-19. She wanted to see if there was a way to better design a diagnostic test to pick up the variants that are becoming the dominant strain of the virus.
The way the test works with the process that it goes through is it only detects variants that have DNA that perfectly match to what is used in the test. So the problem is that if there's a mutation, the test will no longer detect that variant.
Heady work for a 14-year-old, but she knew what she was looking for and how to find it.
I couldn't really go anywhere. I didn't have access to a lab or anything. So what I did was I saw that there were a ton of databases online. And they have super constantly updated data. And so I thought I could make a project with that data without even having to go to a lab and make a super cool project.
Very cool, in fact. On a state level, she took honors among middle schoolers and won awards from the Beckman Coulter Foundation and 3M.
It probably is to some degree about my age because there's a ton of really interesting projects that people my age do at these science fair competitions. But I think the reason that mine got attention was because of the topic.
A topic, a pandemic that still has its hold on our world.
But my work was a crucial first step.
So we want to make sure that when this pandemic ends, or we think it ends, it's actually over and that it's not going to continue going on without our knowledge. And so I guess it's not about having people, recognize me, but having people be able to have a solution to this problem and finally find some sort of normal in the world that doesn't involve having a global pandemic.
Elizabeth said there are some science fairs she couldn't enter on a state level because she's not yet in high school. She is entered in the Broadcom Masters National Contest.